In this tutorial, we will learn about structs in Go. Structs lets you group related data together and create custom types, similar to classes in other languages. So this is how you can declare and initialize a struct in Go. We start by using the type keyword, type, and then the name of the struct we want to create. Let's say book. After that, you write the keyword struct, curly brackets, and inside here you add the fields that should be part of the struct. Let's say title, and that's a string. Author, string, pages, and let's set that to be int. So here we define the book struct with the field for title, author, and pages. And the next step is to initialize an instance of it. We can do that by creating a new variable. Let's call it my book. We set that to be book, curly brackets, and then here we specify the field. So title, we can say the Go programming language. Author, Alan A. Donovan, pages 380. Another way to create a struct is to create an empty struct and add the values later. Let's clear this. So to do that, we can write var my book, and we set that to be of type book. And then we can write my book title, and we set that to be same as before. And we can also set the author and pages. Let's print this out. We can now try to run it. So open up a new terminal. And we can see the values are printed. Later in the video, I will show you how to print a struct and including the keys. Let's revert it back to the first way that we had it. You can also read values from a struct using the dot notation. It will look something like this. Say we have a title variable, and we can set that to be my book title, and then we can print it out. Let's run it. And we get the Go programming language. And we can also directly mutate the properties of a struct. To do that, we can say my book dot title equal to new title, and let's print out the title. So fmt print line my book title, and then we run it again. And we can now see that the new title is printed. Structs can also be nested within other structs to create a more complex data structure. So let's say after book, we have a struct called type library struct, and it will have a property of name, that's a string, and it will also have books, and that will be a slice of the book struct. And to use it, we could create a new variable. So let's say my library, and set that to be the library struct. As a name, we can set the city library. And for the books, to be slice, book, and then we can pass my book. We could also create a new book here. So let's say title, Go in action, author William Kennedy, and pages 300. Now, if you want to print out a struct and include the keys, you can use the following syntax. So you do fmt printf, and then we will have a percentage plus v. We can then pass my library. Let's run this and clear the console. And we can now see that the name of the library is city library, and the city library has the books, the Go programming language, and Go in action. Let's clear this. We can also define methods on a struct to add functionality. So we write methods as functions, but it will have a special receiver argument that tells what struct it belongs to. So let's say that the book will have a summary method. Then we can write func, and here we say b and the type book. So this means that this method will belong to the book struct. We call it summary. It will take no arguments, and it will return a string. In this method, we will have access to the properties of the book struct. So we can write return fmt printf, %s by %s %d pages. And then we can pass our struct fields. So b title, b author, and b pages. Let's use this method. So fmt print line, and then we can say my book dot summary. If we now run it, we get the Go programming language by Alan A.A. Donovan, 380 pages. To update struct fields in a method, you have to use a pointer receiver. A pointer is a reference to the memory address of the value it points to. If you don't use a pointer receiver, the method will only modify a copy of the struct and not the original. So we can add a new method here, and we say func b, and then we write star book. So this star means it's a pointer receiver, and we can call the method update pages. And as argument, we say new pages int if new pages is bigger than 0. We can set b.pages to be equal to new pages. Else, fmt print line invalid page count. Pages must be greater than 0. And let's now use it. So we can say my book update pages, and then we can set it to 400. Let's now print it out. So fmt print line my book dot pages, and we run it, and we get 400 back. Now let's see what would happen if we didn't use a pointer receiver. So if we remove the star here and we try to run it again, and we get 380 back. So remember, when you want to update a property from a method, you have to use a pointer receiver. Else it will try to update a copy of the struct and not the original. We can also compare structs using the double equal operator. So for structs to be equal, all their fields must match exactly. We can rename this one to book1, and then we can copy it and say book2, and we can write if book1 equal book2, fmt print line the books are identical, else the books are different. Let's run it, and we get the books are identical. And if we now change this to, let's say, 480, and we run it again, we get the books are different. Next, I would like to talk about composition. Go doesn't support inheritance. Instead, it uses composition to build complex types from simpler ones and interfaces for flexible behavior. So we can remove this code. And then we can create some new structs to demonstrate composition. Type, printer, struct. And this printer struct will have a print method. So func e printer print. Inside we can write fmt print line printing document. After that we will have a struct called scanner. So type scanner struct. And this scanner struct will have a scan method. So func s scanner scan. Inside here we will print scanning document. After that we will create a struct called multifunction device. Type multifunction device struct. And inside here we will embed the printer struct, printer, and we will also embed the scanner struct, scanner. And then in the main method we can say mfd and set that to be multifunction device. because we embedded printer and scanner to the multifunction device, we will have access to those methods. MFD scan, MFD print. Let's run this. And we get scanning document, printing document. The last thing I want to talk about is anonymous struct. They are useful for temporary data structure. One example for that is when parsing JSON data. Let's see how that will look like. We can start by clearing up the code, remove this. Inside the main method, we will create a variable called JSON response, and we set that to be a string. And here we will create a JSON string. So we can say name. And we set that to be Alice, and then we have age, and we set that to be 30. And below this, we can create an anonymous struct. So we will say person, and set that to be equal to struct, name, string, age, int, and then we end it with curly brackets here. So we created a temporary struct that can only be used one time. Below that, we will say error and set that equal to json.unmarshal. And unmarshal accept a byte slice. So we can say by, and then we pass JSON response to convert it. And then we will pass the memory address to our person. So we say person, and then and sign in front to get the memory address. We will then check if error not equal to nil. In that case, we will print out error unmarshalling JSON. Can pass the error here. Else, fmt, printf, name, %s, age, %d. And then we pass person.name, person.age. And if we now run this, we will get name, Alice, age 30. So in this tutorial, we explored how to use structs in Go. We covered how to declare and initialize them, access, modify fields, how nested structs works, define methods, how you can compare them. And we also had some exampling covering composition and anonymous structs. Thank you so much for watching.